Imagine you're at your favorite market picking up some coffee beans straight from Colombia, a bottle of wine from France, and a pair of sneakers made in Vietnam. You're feeling pretty good about your haul until you notice the prices are a little bit higher than last month. What changed? You find out the government just imposed tariffs on these exact imports. I know, unlucky, but what does that mean? Why would they do that? And how does it affect you? Let's break it down. We're gonna break it down. Okay, sorry guys. Tariffs are taxes that governments place on imported goods. When a product crosses the border over into your country, the government charges the importer a fee. Think of it like a toll road for goods. Let's say that somebody named Sarah owns a sneaker shop and she imports stylish sneakers from Vietnam, where each pair costs $50 to produce and $10 to ship. She usually pays $60 a pair and sells them for $100. This month, the government imposed a 20% tariff on imported sneakers. That's an extra $12 per pair, raising Sarah's cost to $72. Now, Sarah faces a tough choice. She can either raise her prices or take a hit to her profits. So why would governments do this? There are three main reasons. One, help protect local businesses. By making imports more expensive, governments encourage people to buy locally made products, right? Think of that first example. This will boost those domestic industries, right? Let's take a look at another example. Imagine a small town where Joe's shoes company makes sneakers. Joe's struggling because imported sneakers are cheaper than what he can produce. When tariffs make imports more expensive, suddenly Joe's shoes become more competitive and his business starts thriving. Pretty simple, makes a lot of sense, right? I hope it does. That's a pretty good example. The second reason they might do this is to generate revenue, right? Tariffs bring in money for the government, which can be used for public projects. They're literally taxes. Tax money all goes to the government. Here's another example. In the 1800s, before income taxes existed, the US government relied heavily on tariffs to fund infrastructure for roads, bridges, and schools. All of these were built with money from taxes on imported goods. Again, a tax on an imported good is just called a tariff. Okay, this isn't a new concept. They're coming up again, but it's not new. The third reason, political leverage. Sometimes tariffs are used in trade negotiations like a bargaining chip in a poker game, right? Probably sounds familiar. Another example, 2018, the US government imposed tariffs on Chinese electronics, arguing it would push China to agree to fair trade terms. It created tension, but it also opened the door for negotiations. Okay, very real world example right there of how that could be used as a bargaining chip. So let's talk about the impact on consumers. So here's where things can get tricky. Importers often pass those costs on to consumers, you and me. That's why the coffee, wine, sneakers at the market are suddenly more expensive. Here's another example. Remember Sarah, right? We talked about her at the beginning of this video. She raised the price of her sneakers to $110 to cover the tariff. When her customers see the new price, some decide to skip buying new sneakers this year. Not only do they spend less, but Sarah's sales also take a hit. Consumer spending is down, which directly drives GDP. Sarah is struggling in her business. Things are bad, right? This is really, really bad. When consumer spending is down, this is bad for the economy. Tariffs don't just affect simple products like sneakers or coffee. They can also impact complex products like the cars you drive, where parts come from all over the world. Let's talk about another example, right? So take Alex, who runs a car manufacturing company in the US. His company assembles cars domestically, but many of the parts come from overseas. The engine might be imported from Japan, the tires from Mexico, and the electronics from Germany. Let's say the US imposes tariffs on auto parts, a 10% tariff on engines, 15% on electronics, and 5% on tires. Alex now faces higher costs for every car he produces. Before tariffs, the parts for each car cost him $20,000. With tariffs added, his costs increased to $22,000. Alex has a choice: either raise the price of his cars by $2,000, potentially losing customers, or absorb the cost and take a hit to his profits. See the problem there? See the problem with tariffs? Is it all making sense? Is it making sense why I'm making this video, guys? Let's continue on. This doesn't just affect Alex though. If tariffs lead to fewer sales, he might have to cut back on hiring or reduce hours for his workers. And for consumers, the higher prices on cars mean they have less money to spend on other things, which can ripple through the economy. See the problem here, guys? You see how they have to be used carefully? Okay, let's continue on. So it doesn't just stop there. When one country imposes tariffs, other countries might retaliate with their own, creating a trade war. This can disrupt global supply chains, hurt businesses, and even slow down the economy. Here's another example. When the US and China imposed tariffs on each other, American farmers were caught in the crossfire. Soybean exports to China dropped, and farmers like Jim in Iowa struggled to find new buyers. Meanwhile, Chinese manufacturers started sourcing soybeans directly from Brazil instead. Really world example of how these can affect people. So tariffs can feel like a faraway concept, but they have a real impact on our wallets and the global economy. So next time you notice higher prices on imports, and you'll know there's more at play than just inflation. So tell me what you think. Should governments use tariffs to protect local industries, or do they do more harm than good? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into how money moves the world. Also, we had Art Basel this week. I don't ever wear hats, guys, but I got this. There's a pop-up very close by, and I bought this hat. So let me know if you like the hat or if I just look weird with the hat. I haven't worn a hat, I think, in 10 years. I used to wear them when I was a kid. I don't think wearing a hat is childish by any means. I just haven't worn a hat since I was a child. Most people wear hats, I think. I've had big hair, right? Since I created this channel. Well, no, I've had big hair, I think, at the beginning of this channel, but I've had big hair for a very long time, and now I have small hair, right? So yeah, maybe hats were an invention by big, small hair. Okay, anyways.
You're never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's fact.